I used to joke that Ariana had the vision while I had the patience. You're the brain, I told her once. I'm just the hands. She smiled without looking up. That's why we work. At night, when the city went quiet, I sat at the dining table with contracts spread like broken wings. I corrected numbers, rewrote clauses, and highlighted risks she never had time to see. When she walked past in heels, coffee in hand, she said, "Did you fix the supplier agreement?" "I did," I said. "Good," she replied. No kiss. No pause. I didn't mind. Or at least I told myself I didn't. When her company finally took off, people called her a genius. Investors shook her hand and ignored mine. "You must be proud," one of them said. "I am," I answered. I meant it. Ariana practiced speeches in front of the mirror. "Too soft?" she asked. "Strong?" I said. "Just slow down at the numbers." She nodded. "You always catch what I miss." That felt like love back then. One evening, she dropped her bag and said, "I hired an assistant." I looked up. "About time." "He's sharp," she said. "Young. Focused." "Good," I replied. "You need someone who keeps up." The next morning, Evan stood outside her office. "Sir," he said, holding out his hand. "Evan." "Nice to meet you," I said. His grip was firm. His smile polite. His eyes stayed on Ariana longer than needed. During meetings, Ariana spoke fast, confident. When she hesitated, I slid her a note. She read it and continued. Afterward, she whispered, "You saved me." "I always do," I said, half joking. She didn't laugh. Weeks passed. My name disappeared from emails. Evan started taking notes instead of me. "It's just temporary," Ariana said when I asked. "I'm not complaining," I replied. "Just noticing." One night she came home late. "Dinner's cold," I said. "I already ate," she answered. "With who?" She paused. "The team." I nodded. "I'll heat it anyway." I dreamed less. I slept lighter. My phone stopped buzzing with her questions. "You didn't send me the revisions," she said one morning. "You didn't ask," I replied. She frowned. "Evan handled it." That stung more than it should have. At lunch, Evan spoke before I could. "I ran the projections," he said. Ariana looked impressed. "Good initiative." I watched her eyes light up the way they used to for me. Later I said, "You're trusting him fast." She sighed. "Don't be insecure." "I'm not," I said. "I'm careful." She walked away. One evening I stayed late again, fixing a mistake she didn't see. I sent her the file. She replied, "Thanks." Just that. I stared at the screen and felt tired in a way sleep couldn't fix. At a company dinner, someone asked Ariana, "How do you manage everything?" She smiled. "I have a great team." She didn't look at me. Evan pulled out her chair. "Thank you," she said softly. I heard it. On the drive home I said, "Do you still need me?" She kept her eyes on the road. "That's a strange question." "Answer it." She didn't. That night I stood in the bathroom looking at my reflection. I looked useful, reliable, invisible. From the bedroom I heard her on the phone. "Evan, email me the numbers," she said. "No, I don't want to bother him." I closed my eyes. For the first time since we married, I wondered when I stopped being her partner and started being her background. And I realized something worse. I no longer recognized the woman I was building this life for. The first time Ariana forgot to tell me about a meeting, I assumed it was a mistake. "The calendar was full," she said, shrugging out of her coat. "It wasn't on mine," I replied. "You don't need to be in everything anymore." The word "anymore" stuck in my chest. At breakfast I asked, "Did the board approve the budget changes?" She sipped coffee. Evan handled the follow-up. "I wrote those projections." "I know," she said. "But he's faster." I laughed, weak and automatic. "Since when?" She stood up. "Since now." At the office, my chair was gone from the conference room. Evan sat there, laptop open. "Oh," he said. "Was this yours?" "It was," I answered. He smiled. "Sorry?" Ariana asked me to sit close. During the meeting, Ariana spoke numbers I recognized as mine. "Brilliant analysis," a board member said. "Thank you," she replied. I waited. She didn't add my name. Afterward, I followed her into the hallway. "You could have mentioned me," I said. She stopped. "Do you need credit that badly?" "I need honesty." She exhaled. "You're making this difficult." That afternoon, my phone buzzed. "Lunch?" Liam texted. I met him at a small cafe near the office. "You look wrecked," he said. "I'm fine," I lied. He leaned forward. You're being pushed out. No, I said quickly. She'd never do that. He raised an eyebrow. You sure? When I got back, Evan was in my office. Hey, he said. Ariana asked me to use this space. My things are still here. I'll move them, he said, already opening drawers. I stood there useless. Did she say why? I asked. He hesitated. She said it was about efficiency. That night, Ariana worked late again. You coming home? I asked over the phone. Not tonight, she replied. With who? The team, she repeated. Is Evan part of the team now? She paused. Why are you like this? When she finally came home, I said, I feel replaced. She laughed. Don't be dramatic. I'm serious. She crossed her arms. You're not built for this level. I felt small then. I built this with you, I said. You supported me, she corrected. That's different. The next day, I overheard Evan whispering to her. If we reposition the brand, he said, investors will listen. She nodded. You think like me. I turned away before they saw me. At lunch, Ariana didn't answer my calls. Evan did. She's busy, he said. I'm her husband. I know, he replied softly. That word hurt more than anger. That evening, I waited at home. Can we talk? I asked when she arrived. About what? About us. She sighed. There is no us in the office. I never asked for power, I said. Just respect. She looked tired. You're holding me back. I held you up. And now I don't need that, she said. I slept on the couch. The next morning Liam called. You okay? I don't know, I said honestly. Watch your back, he warned. I trust her, I replied. When I hung up, I saw an email notification on her laptop. From Evan. Subject, next steps. I didn't open it. But for the first time, I wondered what I was refusing to see, and how long I could pretend this crack wasn't growing wider every day. The night of the company gala, Ariana barely spoke to me. Wear the gray suit, she said while fixing her earrings. You like the blue one, I replied. This looks more professional. At the venue, lights flashed and glasses clinked. Ariana moved ahead of me, confident, smiling. People stopped her every few steps. CO Ariana, someone called. She laughed. Please. I stayed 2 steps behind like I belonged there by accident. During cocktails, an investor asked, how did you stabilize revenue so fast? Ariana answered, strategic restructuring. I waited. She kept talking. When it was time for speeches, she took the stage. Tonight, she said, we celebrate growth. Applause followed. Evan stood near the stage, tablet in hand. She continued, this wouldn't be possible without my team. I felt a flicker of hope. She pointed. Especially Evan. The room clapped. Evan nodded, modest. My chest tightened. She said, his projections changed everything. Those were my numbers. My nights. After the speech, I approached her. You used my work, I said quietly. She smiled for the crowd. Not here. When? Later. Later never came. At our table, Evan sat beside her. Great speech, he said. Couldn't have done it without you, she replied. I stared at my plate. A board member leaned toward me. You must be proud, she said. I am, I answered. Your wife is impressive. She is, I said again. When Ariana went to greet sponsors, Evan stayed back. You okay? He asked. I'm fine, I said. He hesitated. She's under a lot of pressure. So am I. He nodded like he understood, but his eyes didn't. In the restroom, I splashed water on my face. You're being sensitive, I told myself. You're tired. When I returned, Ariana was laughing. I didn't recognize the sound. Let's take a photo, someone said. She stepped forward. Evan joined her. I moved closer. Oh, Ariana said. Actually, just leadership. I froze. After the gala in the car, I said, you didn't even introduce me. She sighed. It wasn't about us. It never is anymore. You're overthinking. I was erased. You're emotional, she said. That's your problem. At home, she kicked off her heels. Tomorrow's board meeting is early, she said. I'm not invited, I replied. She paused. Evan will present. My data. Our data, she corrected. I laughed, bitter. When did I stop being part of the team? When you stopped keeping up, she answered. The next morning I came anyway. I stood at the back of the room. Evan spoke confidently. These figures show stability, he said. A board member asked, Who prepared this? He glanced at Ariana. She said, Evan did. I felt heat rush to my face. After the meeting, a woman approached me. I'm Nora, she said. I know who you are, I replied. Her eyes studied me. You built this quietly. I said nothing. Be careful, she added. People forget who laid the foundation. That afternoon, Ariana called me into her office. Why were you there? She asked. I work here. Not like before, she said. Then what am I? She looked away. A distraction. I swallowed hard. I never wanted the spotlight, I said. Then step out of it, she replied. When I left her office, Evan stood outside. Rough day? He asked. Congratulations, I said. For what? For replacing me. He didn't deny it. That night, I sat alone in the dark living room. The gala replayed in my head. Her voice. His smile. The applause that wasn't meant for me. I opened my laptop and scrolled through old files. Every version had my edits. My fingerprints were everywhere. I closed the screen. For the first time, the thought formed clearly and scared me. I wasn't being overlooked. I was being removed. Ariana asked me to sit down like she was about to fire an employee. We need to talk, she said. We've been doing that, I replied. Not like this. Her office felt colder than usual. Evan wasn't there, but I felt him anyway. This isn't working, she said. What isn't? The way we mix personal and professional. I laughed once. You mean the way I built everything quietly? She flinched. Don't do that. Do what? Make yourself a victim. I leaned forward. Then say it straight. She folded her hands. I think it's best if you step away. From the company. From me. The words landed slow. Step away. I repeated. Yes. You want a divorce. I want clarity, she said. I stood up. Is this because of Evan? Her silence answered before she did. He understands me, she said finally. I understood you when no one believed in you. And now I've grown past that, she replied. That hurt more than anger. You replaced me, I said. I evolved, she corrected. With him? She looked away. It's not like that. It's exactly like that. She slid papers across the desk. Separation agreement, she said. You already prepared this. I needed to be ready. My hands shook as I picked them up. You didn't even fight, I said. She exhaled. I'm tired of fighting you. I laughed sharp. I never fought you. And that's the problem, she replied. I walked out without signing. At home my phone buzzed. Did she tell you? Evan asked. Lose my number, I said. I didn't mean to hurt you. You meant to replace me. Silence. Then, I deserve this chance. That night, Ariana packed quietly. You're leaving? I asked. Just for now. With him? She didn't answer. I sat on the bed. Was I ever enough? She paused. You were safe. That's not an insult, she added quickly. It is, I said. The next morning lawyers called. Emails followed. Access revoked. My badge stopped working. You can't just erase me, I said on the phone. I can, she replied. And I am. I returned to the office to clear my desk. Evan stood nearby. I'll give you space, he said. Take it, I replied. My drawer was already half empty. Nora watched from down the hall. This isn't right, she said softly. It's happening anyway, I replied. Be careful what you sign. I don't have many choices. You have more than you think, she said. At home, Liam showed up unannounced. She left, he asked. She upgraded, I said. He clenched his jaw. I warned you. I didn't listen. That night I dreamed of my father. Never beg, he used to say. Stand straight even when you lose. In the morning Ariana called. Sign the papers, she said. You're in a hurry. I want this clean. You already dirted it. We met one last time. This doesn't have to be ugly, she said. It already is. You'll be compensated. For what? For your time. I signed. As I stood up, she said, I hope you find yourself. I looked at her. I hope you remember who found you first. Outside, the city moved like nothing had happened. Cars honked. People laughed. My life had just collapsed and the world didn't pause. I walked until my legs hurt. I sat on a bench and stared at my hands. These hands built her future. These hands were now empty. My phone buzzed once more. From Evan. Thank you for understanding. I deleted the message. That night, Alone in an apartment that still smelled like her, I realized the truth. I wasn't losing my wife. I had already lost her. And whatever came next would decide whether I stayed broken or learned how to survive being replaced. The apartment was smaller than I expected. "This is temporary," I told the landlord. He nodded like he'd heard that lie before. The first night I slept on the floor. The mattress delivery was late. I stared at the ceiling and counted cracks. "You'll be fine," I whispered to myself. The room didn't answer. Liam called the next morning. "You alive?" he asked. "Barely," I said. "Good. Then come eat." "I'm not hungry." "You're coming anyway." At the diner he pushed a plate toward me. "You look like hell," he said. "I feel worse." "She really did it," he muttered. "She really replaced me." I checked my phone. No messages. "She didn't even ask if I landed," I said. Liam leaned back. "Stop waiting." Days blurred. I applied for jobs I was overqualified for and ignored by. "Thank you for your interest," the email said. "I gave her years," I muttered. "For free." At night, my mind replayed old conversations. "You're my anchor," Ariana used to say. I laughed out loud. Anchors get dropped. One afternoon, I went to the bank to close a joint account. "You'll need legal advice," the clerk said. "I had a lawyer," I replied. "I married her." That's where I met Maya. She stood behind me, arms crossed. "That line usually ends badly," she said. I turned. "You heard that?" "Hard not to," she replied. "You okay?" We sat at a small table. "I'm Maya," she said. "Corporate law." "Lucky me," I said. "Unlucky you," she corrected. "Why'd you leave the company?" "I didn't," I said. "I was erased." She asked questions. "Did you sign everything?" "No." "Good." "Why?" "Because people who rush usually hide something." I shrugged. "I wasn't paid anyway." She frowned. "Unpaid doesn't mean unprotected." I looked at her. "What does that mean?" "It means we should talk." We met again 2 days later. "Tell me exactly what you did," she said. "I supported," I replied. "No," she said. "Details." I told her about nights, contracts, emails. "You save versions?" she asked. "I save everything." Her eyes sharpened. "Good." That night, I slept on the mattress for the first time. I didn't dream. Ariana finally called. "You didn't sign the final clause," she said. "I signed enough." "You're being difficult." "You taught me well." She sighed. "Evan says this delay looks bad." "Evan isn't my problem. He's my partner now." I swallowed. "Congratulations." After the call, I stared at my hands again. They still shook, but less. Maya called an hour later. "I read the draft," she said. And you should stop thinking of yourself as broken." "I feel broken." "Then use that," she replied. Liam came over with cheap beer. "To rock bottom," he said. "I thought this was it," I replied. He shook his head. "This is the floor." I looked around the small apartment. The silence didn't feel empty anymore. It felt honest. That night, I opened my old laptop. I didn't look at memories. I looked at files. For the first time since Ariana left, I wasn't asking why she replaced me. I was asking what she forgot to take with her. And that question kept me awake, alert, and just angry enough to stand up again. Maya didn't waste time. "You have leverage," she said, flipping through files. "I'm broke," I said. "You're not." I frowned. "Explain." "These contracts," she said. "You own more than you think." "Show me." She slid a thick folder across the table. "Read carefully." I opened it. My handwriting was all over the pages. Clauses I didn't remember drafting, numbers I thought lost. These are mine?" "Yes. You made them months ago. Even if she claims credit, legally it's yours." I laughed bitterly. All this time I thought I was powerless. Maya smiled. "You weren't. You just didn't see it." Later I met Nora in a cafe near the office. "I knew it," she said before I even spoke. "Knew what?" "That she couldn't have built it without you." "Then why let her act like she did?" "Power isn't about honesty," she said. "It's about perception." I sipped my coffee. "So everyone else buys the illusion." "Exactly. But you have the truth." I nodded. "And Evan?" "He's smart," Nora said. "But smart people don't always see loyalty. Or control." At the office I peeked inside. Evan was in my old chair, pretending he belonged. Ariana gave him a stack of papers. "Evan, I need a summary by 5 p.m., she said. "I'll handle it," he replied. I clenched my fist. My numbers, my work, now handed to the person who replaced me. I called Maya that evening. They don't know, I said. Who? Everyone. Board, investors, Ariana. Good. Then we can plan. I hesitated. Plan what? Not revenge, she said. Restoration. I exhaled. Restoration sounds better than revenge. 2 nights later, I met Maya and Liam at a quiet diner. Your plan? Liam asked. Leverage, I said. Define it, he said. Documents, equity, legal proof, I explained. Everything she assumed she owned. And I use it to step back in. Carefully. Quietly. Maya nodded. Slow. Strategic. Let them make mistakes. I remembered Ariana laughing at the gala. It wasn't about us, she said. It's exactly about us now, I thought. The following day, I overheard a heated conversation between Ariana and Evan. You don't get it, she said. I do, he replied. You're scared you can't control it alone. Then trust me, she said. I'm not blind, he shot back. I know you're hiding something. I left before they saw me. That night I studied the contracts again. Each clause whispered secrets I had forgotten. Everything is here, I muttered. I just have to remember how to use it. Maya called. They're cracking, she said. What do you mean? Small errors. Investors are noticing inconsistencies. And Ariana? She's flustered. Evan doesn't have the experience to fix it. I smiled for the first time in weeks. Quietly, carefully. The next morning I met Liam at a park. You look different, he said. More focused, I replied. Ready to hit back? No, I said. I'm ready to take control. Evening came and I watched the city from my small apartment. Evan's messages to Ariana pinged constantly. Missteps, miscalculations. Every email a tiny crack in the empire they thought I couldn't touch. I whispered to myself, you forgot the foundation. You can't erase what built this. Maya's words echoed, let them unravel themselves. You just need to step back in. I felt anger, yes, but also power, real power. Not the emotional weight I carried in the past. Ariana called once, her tone clipped. Everything okay? She asked. Fine, I said. You seem different. I remembered who I am, I said. She was silent. I hung up. For the first time, I didn't feel like the man they had replaced. I felt like the one they would have to face. And that was enough. The first email came like a slap. Investor concerns, it said. Numbers weren't matching. Mistakes, small but public. I knew immediately whose hands were shaking behind them. I called Maya. They're losing control, I said. Good, she replied. Now don't rush. Let them make more mistakes. At the office, I passed the lobby unnoticed. Security barely glanced up. I felt a strange thrill. Evan appeared in the hallway. Late night, he asked. You could say that, I replied. Everything okay? Better than okay, I said. He frowned, sensing the edge in my tone. Later, Ariana called. Why are you back in the building? I'm reviewing some old files, I said. You shouldn't be here, she said sharply. I thought it was my office, I reminded her. There was silence. Then, we'll talk later. I watched her leave the room, heels clicking. Evan followed. I noticed the tension in their shoulders, tiny cracks forming. The next morning I got a call from Daniel. You're back? He asked. I am, I said. You realize this is a dangerous move? Exactly, I replied. But profitable if done right. He chuckled. I like your confidence. Thanks, I said. I've had practice being invisible. Later in the boardroom, numbers were missing. Ariana flustered, Evan fumbling with the slides. I don't understand these discrepancies, a board member said. Ariana stammered. It's, technical errors. Evan looked terrified. I walked in quietly. May I? I asked. Who authorized you? Ariana snapped. I'm reviewing the same numbers, I said. I opened the spreadsheet. Within minutes I found the errors. See here? I pointed. Projections misaligned, formulas incorrect. Impossible, Evan whispered. Not impossible, I replied. Negligent. The board murmured. Thank you, one member said. We need accuracy. I glanced at Ariana. She avoided my eyes. After the meeting, I walked toward the elevator. Evan stopped me. You fixed it fast, he said. I always do, I replied. He shook his head. She doesn't see it. I know, I said. And soon others won't either. That evening I met Daniel privately. She's weak without you, he said. Exactly what I'm counting on, I replied. Daniel leaned back. You're not taking revenge? No, I said. I'm taking my place. Back at home I reviewed old contracts again. Every clause, every backup email, every record of contribution. Ariana and Evan didn't know how much I had quietly preserved. The next morning a board member called me. Can you attend a meeting tomorrow? Alone. Of course, I said. I hung up and smiled. This was my moment to step in strategically. Not for pride, not for anger, but because it was mine. At the office, Ariana rushed past me. You shouldn't be here, she muttered. I thought we agreed I'm reviewing numbers, I said. She froze. Yes, but. No buts, I interrupted. Evan looked at me like I was a ghost. The board meeting started. Ariana presented first. Her voice was sharp, but her confidence faltered. Numbers didn't align. Questions were pointed. Answers weak. When it was my turn, I didn't speak immediately. I watched. I let the tension build. Here's what's missing, I said, opening files. Formulas corrected, projections verified, contracts referenced. This aligns with all past data. The room went silent. Impressive, Daniel said quietly. Ariana's lips pressed tight. Evan's face turned pale. Afterward, in the hallway, Evan muttered, You could have stayed gone. I had to step back in, I said. For accuracy. For reality. He swallowed. She won't like it. I don't care, I replied. That night, I stood alone in the office I once shared with her. The city lights reflected in the glass. I felt power, not arrogance, not anger, but clarity. I remembered every night spent fixing errors, every sleepless hour, every correction she never saw. And now, finally, the throne was shaking. Ariana didn't notice yet. Evan didn't understand. But the foundation they thought they controlled, the one I built silently, was awake. I whispered to myself, this is mine now. And for the first time in months, I didn't feel like a shadow. The call came in the middle of the afternoon. Can we talk? Ariana's voice was careful. About what? I asked. Everything. Is this about Evan? No, she said quickly. It's about us. I laughed, low and bitter. Us doesn't exist anymore. Please, she said. I was wrong. I didn't mean. You didn't mean to replace me, I finished for her. I get it. There was silence on the line. I thought I could fix it, she whispered. Too late, I said. Later she came by my office unannounced. I just want to explain, she said. Explain what? That you erased me? I was selfish, she admitted. I knew that the moment you handed me those papers, I said. Evan lingered in the background. I didn't acknowledge him. He looked like he wanted to say something but didn't dare. You've changed, she said carefully. Not changed, I replied. Aware. She hesitated. I made a mistake. I can fix this. No, I interrupted. You can't fix what you ignored for years. Her eyes widened. I thought you'd want revenge. I don't, I said. I want closure. And control over what's mine. Evan shifted. She's scared. Good, I said. She should be. We went over the company's status. I let her talk, but I didn't answer her questions with excuses. I answered with facts, contracts, evidence of my contributions. Every word I said reminded her what she had overlooked. You've grown stronger, she said, voice almost admiring. I've had to, I said. After you decided I was replaceable. She tried again. Can't we at least? No, we can't. You're harsh. I'm honest, that's not harsh. Later I called Maya. They're unraveling faster than I expected, I said. Good, she said. Keep it slow. Let them see the cracks. I'm not destroying her, I said. You're not supposed to, she replied. You're reclaiming what you built. The next morning I arrived at the board meeting early. Ariana and Evan were already there. The tension was palpable. Morning, I said calmly. Good morning, Ariana replied, avoiding my eyes. Evan tried to smile. We're ready? Of course, I said, letting my gaze sweep the room. When the first question came, Ariana hesitated. Evan fumbled with papers. I stood and answered clearly, concisely. I corrected errors, presented missing data, referenced contracts, and verified projections. The room went silent. Impressive, Daniel said quietly. Ariana's lips pressed together. Evan's face drained of color. Afterward, Ariana cornered me. You could have been merciful. I said. I didn't destroy you. I just reminded you who you relied on. She swallowed. I thought you'd be angry. I am, I said. But anger doesn't change the facts. Facts do. Evan muttered under his breath. I didn't realize. You didn't, I said. Now you know. By evening, Ariana left the office. She didn't come back that night. Evan stayed behind, nervously checking every file. I walked through the empty corridors, seeing my work everywhere. I called Liam. It's done, I said. Finally, he replied. Yes, I said. And I didn't have to stoop. She learned too late. Maya texted me. The position is yours now. Step carefully. I replied, I always do. Alone, I looked at the city skyline through the glass. My reflection stared back. No rage, no bitterness, just calm. Ariana's apology had no power. Evan's attempts to impress had failed. The company was mine, not by force but because I had never left it even when they believed they had replaced me. I whispered to myself, you forgot the foundation. You can't erase what built this. For the first time, I felt the weight lift from my shoulders. I didn't gloat. I didn't celebrate. I just exhaled. And in that exhale, I realized something vital. I didn't need her approval. I didn't need her trust. I didn't even need her. I had reclaimed myself. And that was enough. The office was quiet. Too quiet. The hum of the city below reminded me that life kept moving, even when everything around me had changed. Evan was gone. Ariana had resigned. The board called me in, formally acknowledging my role in restoring order. You did well, Daniel said. Thanks, I replied. No, seriously. The company was on the brink. I just fixed what was already built, I said. He smiled approvingly, but I didn't care about his approval anymore. Later, I walked through the empty halls, touching the desks I had once organized, the files I had meticulously prepared. Every paper, every email, every clause reminded me that I had never truly lost. Liam called. You're officially back, he said. Not back, I replied. Forward. What's the difference? I don't wait for anyone anymore. I went to my office and sat. The chair was comfortable, familiar. I opened a drawer and found a note Ariana had left months ago. Thank you for everything. I crumpled it and tossed it aside. Not for hate. For closure. Maya stopped by later. You okay? She asked. I am, I said. You've changed. I had to, I replied. I'm done being invisible. That night, the apartment felt different. Empty but not lonely. I poured a glass of water and looked at the skyline. The lights of the city reflected in the glass like tiny stars. A text came from Ariana. I hope you're happy. I didn't reply. I walked to the window and whispered, I am. Finally. The next morning, the board meeting was brief. Questions, clarifications, minor adjustments. Nothing I couldn't handle. Evan's absence was a relief. I didn't need his approval or presence. Later, Nora stopped by my office. You've always been underestimated, she said. I used to let them, I replied. And now I set the terms. Her smile was approving. Good. Don't forget who you are. I won't, I said. Evenings were quiet. I spent time reviewing the company's future rather than the past. I thought about my mistakes, my losses, but they no longer defined me. Ariana called again. Can we meet? She asked. I don't think so, I said. Just once. Closure isn't a meeting, I replied. It's knowing your worth and moving forward. She stayed silent. I see, she said finally. Weeks passed. I rebuilt routines, focused on projects, and watched the company thrive without needing to prove myself to anyone. One afternoon, Liam and I had lunch. You look lighter, he said. I feel lighter, I replied. No bitterness? Only enough to learn, I said. That night, I sat alone in my office, staring at the skyline again. I remembered the nights spent fixing mistakes, the sleepless hours, the emails I had drafted, the work no one credited me for. It all mattered now, not because of recognition but because it reminded me who I was. Evan, Ariana, the betrayal, the replacement, it didn't matter anymore. Their choices no longer controlled my life. I whispered to myself, I didn't win. I moved on. And for the first time in years that felt like victory. I closed my laptop. The office lights dimmed. The city's reflection shimmered in the glass. I leaned back, letting silence fill the space. No anger. No revenge. Only clarity. I had lost what I thought I needed. Love, recognition, validation, but I had found something stronger. Identity. Strength. I didn't need Ariana to see me, the board to notice me, or anyone to acknowledge me. I had learned to stand alone and still be whole. I whispered again softly, "This is mine." And it was. The phone buzzed once more, another message from an unknown investor. I smiled and ignored it. My life no longer revolved around proving anything to anyone else. I looked around the office one last time and felt a sense of calm I hadn't felt in years. I didn't win in the traditional sense. I didn't humiliate anyone. I didn't need revenge. I moved on. And moving on, I realized, was the greatest victory of all. I stood, walked to the window, and stared at the city. The lights below sparkled like possibilities. I whispered one final time, "I'm ready for what's next." And I was.